Welcome to Hot Commodities with me, Manisha Gupta. Well, it has been a positive day for the dollar. The US dollar index is trading marginally up by nearly 0.1% against 6 major currencies, but most regional currencies were weaker compared to the US unit. Well, the weak manufacturing and employment data weighs on the market sentiment right now, and we have seen the beneficiaries coming in out as Japanese yen and the Swiss franc. They were both being held by the falling fears of intervention. Well, the Bank of Japan has said that the government has no specific plans, and that led to support in all of those currencies. We have seen all of these currencies quite under pressure because of the fears that Japanese markets would, or the Japanese government would come out and intervene, and that's the reason you have seen all of those currencies actually run up. Yesterday we did see yen go up to 80 in the markets yesterday. At this point in time, of course, holding above 85. We also have seen the Australian dollar trade slightly on the softer side ahead of the general elections on Saturday there. If you talk about our currency, that is trading quite on the steady note. Remember, yesterday the markets were shut, and today we have seen a very steady trades happening there. Nearly 0.5% of a loss coming in at this point in time, but that's really following the regional currencies because of the strength in the US dollar. Also, the losses in the share markets and the Indian markets have been putting pressure there. In Asian markets, the Malaysian ringgit, which had seen 13 years of highs in the markets yesterday, have seen a bit of decline. But if you look at the overall performance, the ringgit's 9.2% climb really has been the best among Asia's 10 most actively traded currencies. The euro, I'll look at that then, and that has been trading under pressure, additional pressure actually, from the news that the French President Nicolas Sarkozy is meeting senior ministers today to discuss growth prospects and the 2011 budget. The currency hit a 7-week low in the markets today versus the Japanese yen. The ECB officials also are advising on extended unlimited liquidity to banks into the next year as well. The euro, of course, has seen a low at this point in time, holding around 1.2706. That's the intraday low for that currency, just about holding 1.27 at this point in time. To get more perspective on currency, let's talk to our expert then, and Pramit Brahmbhatt from Alpari Forex now joins us in our studios here. Pramit, hi, welcome to the show. Let's start with euro because that is continuously moving on the lower side, just holding 1.27 at this point in time. Are you looking at further losses before this weekend ends?
Well, at the moment, whatever the losses we are seeing in the euro is more of the speculative news coming from the various parts of Europe, as you mentioned about the French budget. So there are expectations that there will be cuts in the French budget to curb the losses. The same with the German news in terms of the industrial growth is not well as well. So we have to see the facts coming out of these countries by end of this week and see what sort of movement we can see in the euro. But on the other side, dollar is getting also stronger due to the slower recovery news across the world, and dollar and the yen has been used as a safe haven. But in terms of the euro, we will see the real move coming next week. It looks like that about 1.27 euro is going to remain stronger, still the range bound between 127 and 128.
Yeah. Pramit, let's talk about rupee. That wasn't trading yesterday, but today we have seen a bit of loss coming back into that currencies, of course, in line with how the Asian currencies are also reacting. What kind of levels are you working with for the coming week now?
46.2 is a very important level for the rupee, so we will see that whether rupees manage to breach that level. If it go below that, then we can see it is floating somewhere between 45.8 to 46.2, but there is a strong resistance at that level, and rupee is floating between 46.20 to 47 in the last few weeks. So what is important is to see how the stronger currencies like US and the euro is doing in the coming time. If US dollar is going to remain stronger, then we can see rupee will be on the weaker side. But if there are the quiet sessions in the global market, then we can see the rupee is getting appreciated and getting close to the 46.2 level.
Pramit, how about the Japanese yen? Because all of this week went in concerns that the Japanese authorities would come out and do intervene into the markets, or maybe they would come out with some strategy on giving out more stimulus, or there was this consideration there in the markets. Now that doesn't seem to be really happening. How do you see yen now performing ahead?
Well, what we have seen is that Bank of Japan is taking more of indirect steps of intervention rather than doing the direct steps. If we see they are making the credit policy a bit more softer, so that can bring the interest rate cheaper money, and that can make the yen bit cheaper currency rather than it's becoming very expensive currency. So rather than doing the direct intervention, they are looking at first taking the steps of indirect intervention, and they would like to see that what sort of results are coming out of that. Also, the results coming out of Japan economy in this month was not as good as in the earlier month. So that could be another point Bank of Japan can consider when they meet next time, after taking the indirect steps and looking at the results this month, whether it is important for them to intervene. But 85.1 is the important level. If it is breaching that level, then there should be some sort of action expected from Bank of Japan.
Yeah, 85.1 is a level that you need to continuously watch out for. Pramit, also about these Asian currencies, we saw Korean won run up quite a bit. It has also been the Philippine peso that was running out yesterday. We also have seen the I beg your pardon, we also have seen the ringgit run up continuously in the markets. How do you see most of these Asian currencies behaving vis-a-vis dollar?
Well, what we have seen in particular of Asian currency, and if you take the context of India as well into that the stock markets are not doing much good at the moment. It's very flat, and due to that, the whatever effect coming into this currency are more to do with the global currencies and the global news rather than the domestic news. So it is floating around with the global news rather than any domestic news playing a part. So as if the domestic markets are going to be quiet, and if international market is also remain quiet for some time in terms of the bad news, then we can see these currencies will do good in that time.
One word really on the dollar index, because that saw gains in the last week, but this week of course has been continuously on a profit taking mode for that one. Where do you see that one trading now?
I think the dollar index is still going to be remain the range bound compared to what we are saying, that between 82.5 to 84.5 sort of thing, because dollar is getting consolidation from one side, like yen is getting really stronger against dollar. On the other side, dollar has done a good against British pound as well as the euro. So in that context, the dollar index is getting more of consolidation. So it is going to be more range bound rather than one way movement.
Pramit, thank you so much for taking time out for us. So might see some more decline happen in case of euro. As far as rupee is concerned, might see some more depreciation. The way dollar is behaving, that one really seems to be taking a lot of support at this point. Well, let's also take a look on how the trade is panning out in the Indian currency exchanges right now. On NSE till time, it has done trade worth rupees 8,202 crores, while MCX SX stands at around 11,101 crores on all of those four major currency pairs available for trading. With that, it's wrap on this segment of Hot Commodities. Stay tuned for Business Day coming up next.